Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to create this Kawaii unicorn Frappuccino charm using polymer clay inspired by the Starbucks drink. So starting off, take the three base colours of the Frappuccino. I made this pink colour by mixing pastel pink and a small amount of red, this purple colour by mixing pastel pink and a bright purple, and then this blue by mixing white and then a bright blue together. As you can see, I left it marbled with the white because the Starbucks drinks do have a few white swirls through them. Roll each of these colours into a snake and then join them all together to start marbling them, which is done by twisting and rolling. After doing this just a few times, I like to roll the whole thing into a ball and then cut it in half using my blade, as a lot of the nice swirls are actually on the inside and this brings them out so that they can be seen. Then keep gently kneading the colours around, but not too much that they completely mix together. When you get to the stage that you're happy with, it's then time to start moulding it into the cup shape. I do this by mainly rolling it onto my work surface, more on one side than the other, so that the top is slightly wider than the bottom. Next, I took some translucent clay and rolled this into a long coil. I trimmed it around one of the ends and wrapped it around the top rim of the cup. I also trimmed off the excess and then blended the joint together with my dotting tool. Moving on to the face, I made two indents with my dotting tool where I wanted the eyes to go. I then took two balls of brown clay and added these in for the eyes. For the mouth, I attached a small U-shaped coil of clay and then added on the cheeks using a pink chalk pastel and a small paintbrush. Now for the cream on the top of the Frappuccino, I'm using some white clay and a metal piping tip. This one I have here is a Wilton number 16, so it's a small star tip, and I bought this from a kitchen homewares sort of shop. I firstly rolled the clay into a cone shape, and this just makes it easier to push through. I placed the clay into my piping tip and used one of my tools to push it through. It's important that when doing this, you condition your clay really well. One, so that it is easier to push the clay through the piping tip, and then two, so that it doesn't create any cracks. If everything gets a little too sticky, you can cover the clay and your tools with a small amount of corn flour, and this will prevent everything from sticking together. Once you've cut a section of the cream away, you can then twist it slightly if you like. Now take your Frappuccino and start coiling the cream around the top. I attach the end on by blending it down to ensure that it stays nice and secure. Keep wrapping it around until you get to the tip, and if you have any excess you can trim it off and just reshape the end like I did. At this point, I added an eye pin to make it into a charm. For the powder dusted on top of the cream, I decided to use some chalk pastels at this point. If you don't have chalk pastels, any sort of powdered pigment should work just fine, even some old makeup if you have the right colours. All I did for this was scrape on a small amount of each colour. For extra detail, you can also add a little straw poking out. I cut a section of a coil that I made and used some liquid clay to help attach it and secure the straw to the rest of the charm. I then went ahead and baked the charm according to my package's instructions. After baking, I took some super glue and used it to secure the eye pin into the clay. To add the rest of the flavouring and dusted powder stuff on top, I firstly added the glaze to just the cream part of the Frappuccino, and then I took some pastel coloured glitter which I sprinkled over top, and this will stay in place as the layer of glaze dries. And then finally, to finish it off, just glaze the whole charm over like you usually would. So that's everything for this tutorial. Here is what my Frappuccino charm looks like once it's completely finished. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!